Fuck it, if we're too shadowed, I'll throw the color correction on.
Just boost the contrast a little bit. There we go. Perfect.
We just got out of a much raunchier movie than Penguins of Madagascar.
Jason Bateman says fuck like a lot in this movie. It's like, I know it's an R-rated comedy, but like he says fuck a lot.
Well, to be fair, it's one of the main characters' names. Motherfucker Jones. That's what people called me for like a month when I gave a negative review to Man of Steel.
Brad Motherfucker Jones.
We're out of Horrible Bosses 2. Did you like it?
I thought it was pretty decent.
For a movie that's completely pointless.
I mean, yeah.
Because let's not lie.
This setup is thin, and essentially the plot is more or less the same as the first film. I mean, to a certain degree.
I would say it's less the plot of the first film, and more so almost the exact same plot of Ruthless People. Businessman fucks over a couple trying to start a business, and to get revenge, they kidnap, in Ruthless People, his wife, in this movie, his son, and then as it goes along, the person who is kidnapped joins in on it and helps them to get the person back. It plays out differently.
Yeah, because it has, like, 100% less Judge Reinhold in it.
Yeah. There's no Danny DeVito or Bette Midler, but while I was watching the movie, I was sitting there, like, actually thinking less that it was a retreat of the first one, except until it got to the end, when it had the exact same ending as the first movie. But other than that, like, I was like, okay, it's doing some things different, but then I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's doing some things different than Horrible Bosses, but it's Ruthless People.
like, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I think as soon as you said that, there's a look on his face like, huh. No, wait, let me think about this. Huh.
You're gonna go home and watch Ruthless People again?
Possibly, yes.
I do love that movie.
That might possibly be something I do tomorrow.
I've got it at home. I've got the VHS of it sitting on my shelf.
With that terrible box cover.
I love that box cover. With the cartoon ducks calling. Like, I've been kidnapped! And then the cartoon Danny DeVito, like, drunk next to his mistress, like, I don't give a shit.
That's one of those covers I will always remember. It's like, oh god, that just sum up a decade there, why don't you just...
With that sweet 80s Mick Jagger theme song at the beginning of it.
Put it all up.
I love Ruthless People.
No, I just... with this one, like it wasn't as bad as, like I'm not saying, like it was, like, a complete retread. Like, it didn't feel like...
It's not like, The Hangover 2.
Yeah, it wasn't Hangover 2, but it had some Hangover 3 elements to it. Like, not so much like just a shitload of, like, callback stuff.
A little bit, yeah, especially with bringing in characters like Kevin Spacey and Jennifer Aniston, but also more so in that in the first Horrible Bosses, they were characters. It was certainly about something. It certainly had a 3-act narrative to it. Each character had their own personality. They felt like real people. In this movie, it's shtick. It's about shtick. It's about them doing the shtick that made the characters likable in the first movie, and that's really all they do here. Like, Charlie is Charlie in this movie. He's season 1 Charlie.
Yeah, like, in the first movie, it was like, oh, it's Charlie Day, and he's, you know, like, he's doing a lot of, like, you know, Charlie things, but, but, you know, like, he does have, like, some different points to him, like, the whole, like, he's engaged, he's not married in the first one, he's just engaged.
He's engaged.
Right? and like stuff like that. Like it had like some elements to it to like try to humanize him, not just make him just like completely spastic. Like,
and in this, he's very spastic. Like, in this, he's doing things straight out. Like, when he's talking about, like, I sit in the middle. This is my seat. I sit in the middle seat. That is something that Charlie on It's Always Sunny would say.
well, shit. At a point, when they're making like the ransom call, he starts using some like really like terrible like trying to be like Hispanic like like, you know, gang member type thing going on. And then it's like, well, try like a Southern voice.
Oh, I've seen this episode.
It's like, oh shit, you calling out the Texas oil man?
Wild card, bitches. Charlie's the wild card. Like, in the first one, Jason Sudeikis, like, he was certainly a functioning person in the first film. Like, he had a pretty good job that he was good at. He was good with people, but, you know, he was also kind of a ladies' man. In this one, that's most of his dialogue, is him saying something really perverted.
Yeah, all of his character in this one is just how much he wants to bang women.
Yeah, that is all of his dialogue in this. And then Jason Bateman, who, even in the first one, was also the straight man, certainly, but you definitely felt for his character in the first one. Like, you could buy that he was as passive-aggressive as he was, because his boss was just so shitty to him.
He just had such a terrible fucking lot in life in the first one.
Yeah, he's this... It's certainly a character you've seen him play before, but it was written enough to where, yeah, it made sense that he freaking acts like that, because he's kind of getting shit on in this movie. And then in the second one, it's pretty much just Jason Sudeikis and Charlie Day say something stupid, and then Jason Bateman is the straight man and says, like, come on, idiots, and, like, slaps him around, or, like, he's like, no, we shouldn't do that. It's wash, rinse, repeat, over and over over again.
They basically went to, like, the Three Stooges school of acting for this one.
Yeah.
Is like, it's one does something wildly stupid, the other agrees with it, Bateman, like, slaps them both in the head. One of them does something passingly dumb, the other one, you know, like, kind of hypes against it.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman slaps them both in the head.
It's that a lot in this movie, and so the movie doesn't... The movie's definitely... The first one really easily could have, and honestly probably should have been a standalone movie, because this movie, it doesn't... Nothing about it is good enough to where it's like, yes, this needed to be made, because...
Like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I've been waiting, what, 3 years? 2 years?
2-3 years, yeah. Nothing about this screams that this was made for any other reason other than the first one made money, let's make another one, let's put these three guys together again, let's have them do their thing, let's have them do the things that were popular in the first movie, we'll have them ad-lib quite a bit, we'll edit together, we'll release it out there. That seems exactly what this movie is, but with all that being said, with everything I said about it, which actually sounds really negative, because it is, like, those are negative things about this movie, but even with that being said, I did laugh a fair amount in the movie. I did.
Yeah, when it's like the obvious, like, you know, ad-lib moments, just bizarre one-liners, like, it's like, those do catch you pretty good. And some of the stuff that happens, it is, like, it's a genuinely entertaining movie. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, like it's shit that, you know, we've seen or seen parts of, whether it's in its own, you know, previous movie or something else that it seems like it's drawing directly from, like
Ruthless People.
Like,
it's like, you know, it's like, because you brought up Hangover 3. It's like if Hangover 3 were funny.
Yeah, the one thing it wasn't.
yeah, like, because this is almost a review of Hangover 3, except with a positive twist. Except that a lot of the jokes actually work. It just has some of the same negative qualities.
But when it's done, I mean, I'm not going to say this is the right way to do a sequel.
It's not.
But if this is the right way to do unnecessary sequel.
This is an unnecessary sequel that's lucky in that they have a lot of funny people in it, because I mentioned earlier about how, like, Charlie, he's basically playing season 1 and season 2 Charlie in this film.
He spends a majority of his time just shrieking like a madman.
But even with that being said, Charlie Day is really funny, so he's funny in this. Yeah, he is more Charlie from It's Always Sunny in this than he was in the first film, but Charlie's funny. Charlie, whether it's Charlie the character or just Charlie Day and most of the stuff he's in, he's funny, and he gets a lot of laughs out of this movie. And like how the first one had a strong supporting cast, so does this one.
Oh, yeah. Chris
Pine.
Chris Pine killed it.
He's really good in this movie. He's probably the best part of this film.
God damn it, he's charming.
Yeah, and psychotic as shit. Like, yeah, he really is the best part of this movie.
Like, I feel like if this was the same exact movie, but like, toss Chris Pine out of it.
But have Ken Jeong be the Chris Pine character. Oh, Jesus!
I would have fucking walked out. I can't watch another one of those, man.
You know who was really good in this too? Jonathan Banks as the cop. Because one of my favorite gags in this...
damn it.
I just love him. But one of my favorite gags in this movie was when, because if you've seen the trailer, you know the plot of this. They get screwed over by Christoph Waltz and his son, who's Chris Pine, and they're inventors now. I don't even remember that being a thing in the first movie. Like, was this at one point another script that they polished to call it Horrible Bosses 2? Because there are 6 credited writers on here.
Yeah, it very well could have been, because if you take out Jennifer Aniston, who functionally did nothing for it,
you're right,
and Kevin Spacey, again, a person they talked to a couple times, but never, like, nothing ever comes to fruition with that. It's just they go to talk to him and they're like, okay, well, thanks for not helping us again. Bye. Like, why do you keep going back to him?
A quick rewrite could have and Jennifer Aniston is really good in this. She's funny. She has a lot of funny parts, but in terms of the script, a quick rewrite easily could have taken her out of this film. The only way she's in the film is just that because they needed her nerve gas in order to knock out Chris Pine. Boom, instant rewrite. They buy a roofie from somebody.
Yeah.
That instantly takes her out of the movie. I mean, but again, a positive side of that is and it's what I say about a lot of my criticisms of this movie. At the end of the day, I laughed here and there in the movie. Not nearly as much as I did the first movie, but it wasn't insufferable to sit through. I wasn't sitting there miserable like Hangover 3 or anything like that. A lot of jokes really landed in this movie, especially because Christoph Waltz instantly calls the cops, which is another thing Danny DeVito did in Ruthless People.
Whatever you do, don't call the cops. 5 minutes later, squad cars. It's
on every goddamn channel. And the cops are at their business, and instantly Charlie's like...
I really did like that scene.
Instantly Charlie says to Jonathan Banks, who's standing there with like a uniform cop, he says to him like, "Oh, we don't know anything about a kidnapping." He's, "Who said anything about a kidnapping?" And all 3 of them, in a scene that's definitely ad-libbed, are like, You said something about a kidnapping." "No, I didn't."
No, I didn't.
"Yeah, you did. I swear, you just said something about a kidnapping."
No, I didn't. Eventually, they keep bickering back and forth, and so he looks back at the uniformed officer. It's like, "Did I say anything about a kidnapping?" Blank face, like,
I think you did.
There was so much just going on here with all their babbling. I'm going to say yeah. I think
you did. And he didn't. Not once did he even approach that subject. But he's like, "I don't know, I think you did." And Jonathan Banks is...
4 lines. Like, if anything, he had like 4 lines. It's like, "You guys own this place? You mind if we talk to you for a second?
We don't know anything about a kidnapping." "Who said anything about a kidnapping?" And then the uniform cop says that to him. And then he's like, a long fucking day. Maybe I did. I don't know. Like, wow, that is the first time I've ever seen that work in a movie. Like,
okay.
that was actually a funny exchange. Like, little exchanges like that were pretty funny. There were some stuff that really, really didn't work. Like, the silly Austin Powers stuff at the beginning of it, where it looked like they were jacking each other off.
That felt really unnecessary.
Yeah, I was like, well, okay, settle down, Mike Myers. Hang on a sec. What's going on here? And yeah, and I was like, I hope this isn't what most of the movie's gonna be. It's not really. There's even stuff that surprisingly has a pretty good payoff. Like, when this is in the trailer, when Jason Bateman is in their sex addiction meeting, and he goes in, he thinks it's an AA meeting, so he starts saying stuff about drinking booze, but it sounds like he's talking about sucking cock. Ha 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 ha.
Just slamming him, just chugging him
all over my face, you know, like. But that whole sequence, like, that was stupid. But that sequence actually does have a pretty good payoff.
It got surprisingly dark. Like, when confronted about it, like, he just, like, I gotta keep lying, go all in.
And then it gets to the point where he realizes that Jennifer Aniston is getting turned on by this and wants to bang him. And it wasn't until this scene that I realized that those two didn't have any scenes together in the first movie, because they don't recognize each other. And oh, I guess they didn't have any scenes together in the first one. So then he's making his story more graphic to make her more turned on. So she'll send the rest of the people in the group out, so the two of them will bang, which they end up banging. I didn't expect that that's where that scene was going to go. I thought it was just going to be a stupid, like, misunderstanding scene that you'd have seen in a Fockers movie. But no, it actually had a pretty good raunchy payoff.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those, like especially based off of the trailer, like, I was expecting it to go much more like, you know, him fighting against the idea of, like, oh, no, I'm not gay. But no, like, he does it for like 2 seconds until he realizes she's into it, and then it just gets dark.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I was sucking off like a 14-year-old and, like, ate his ass. I'm like, where is this going? And then they bang all over the place. Like, okay.
Sudeikis and Charlie Day, like, believe him because they're listening in from the other room.
It's like, oh my god, this explains so many things, right? Like, it's good to have a gay friend that kind of dices it up a little bit.
That stuff was good. I was laughing when,
And they keep giving him shit for the rest of the movie for that.
Yeah, here and there they do, yeah. I liked when they were coming up with their plan, their ransom drop plan. I honestly thought it was going to go, because they kept bringing up speed earlier in the movie, which had some funny lines with that, but I thought they were going to actually go back to that and rip off the ransom drop from Speed, like, and somehow it would go wrong or something like that. I don't know, but they don't. But when they're coming up with their plan, it's pretty funny because you can see that Charlie has written on the board, like, at some point he came up, it's a montage, but you can see that at some point he comes up with the plan to have a zip line across a couple of buildings and fall onto a trampoline, which will drop you onto a skateboard.
I liked that idea.
I liked that little sight gag, like, in the background. That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. Again, the gang kidnaps somebody.
Oh, yeah, hell, honestly, a couple rewrites make it a little bit shorter with some of the other stuff. This could have just been an episode of It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, especially with all you gotta do is just have Mac doing all the gay jokes instead of Jason Bateman. And Jason Sudeikis is the horny ladies man. Make that a little bit more sociopathic, and it's Dennis. Work it. I can somehow make Jennifer Aniston Sweet D. I don't know.
Chris Pine's one of the McPoyles. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah.
There was already an episode where they took the gang hostage.
Yeah.
Makes sense to take it the other way.
Don't mess with the McPoyles, bitches. We're taking bitches hostage. You just got to make Christoph Waltz Stephen Collins.
This could really work.
Yeah, come on, Stephen Collins needs work. Come on.
Christoph Waltz, though, like that was one thing that did slightly irk me with different vehicles, so it's a slightly different lighting situation. Doesn't go all the way out. You're just gonna slam it a few times to get it back on. But yeah, Christoph Waltz was like the one thing that kind of did irk me a little bit with this one. Like, and nothing about him. Like, I fucking love that man as an actor, but he was just criminally underused in this. Like, the lines that he does have are just very blah. Like nothing about it like was that like nothing really like delved into like using like the abilities he has. Like,
yeah,
like,
this
he
part,
was just playing a stock businessman.
This part could have been played by anyone.
Because like some of the moments like when he reveals like that he did royally screw them in every way, but talked them into doing it for him, and now he's going to buy their business and fuck them over. He could have like delivered that in such a stronger way, but in this it was just like he was just reading it off like it was on like his fucking like to-do list for the day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I had you guys buy into all this, and now you're going to foreclose because we're not going to buy those units. And then once it forecloses, I'll go in and I'll buy your company and I'll make a big profit. Ha! It's
yeah. In terms of like silly comedies that Christoph Waltz is in, I think that this is a far, far better movie than Green Hornet. But he was a lot better used in the Green Hornet.
But yeah, like some of the delivery he used in that, or like the delivery that he used in like Django. Something like that would have carried this a lot farther, I think.
Even beyond delivery, though, he is not in this movie hardly at all.
Yeah, he has like 3 scenes.
Yeah, he is.
The scene where he shows up there at the golf course, and then like, I mean, yeah, he's in like 1 or 2, just like, hello, okay, they're making the drop, and then shows up there for the drop. Like that's all he's in this.
Yeah, they don't really get into you're right, he is just a sleazy businessman. And even at that, he's
not even really a sleazy businessman,
he's just a stock businessman.
Just kind of a dick.
Yeah, like you don't really get into the relationship between him and his son at all. He doesn't really mention, I mean, you get an idea why he doesn't like his son, but that's only because we spend a lot of the movie with Chris Pine. You don't actually see him talk about his son all that much. There's no, I mean, at least in Ruthless People, Danny DeVito was also one of the main characters of the film, if not the main character of that film, so you wildly knew why he didn't like his wife in that movie, and not only that, like, yeah, that movie just gave a lot more fun to that character, and with Danny DeVito playing him, amazing.
Yeah, because this even just kind of came out a little like flat, a little cold, because it's like, you know, like you really can't, like, whenever he came in and like gave him shit about like using his office towards the beginning, and then like makes the gang like an offer for, you know, like how to help their business. Somebody honking their horn like an asshole.
I don't care if your movie's not over yet. Get your asses out here.
We're going.
I got the book in here. I'll read you the ending to Gone Girl when you get in the car. Get inside.
It's impressive while they're driving. But yeah, it's there's a little bit of tension right then, like for a split second, but
that's it.
Even then, like it seemed more like that was like their marketing move, like to fucking hook people. It's like I'm gonna make you this great offer. No, you blew it. You didn't make that. Oh shit! Here comes my dad. He's like, I'll give you guys some advice. Here's my thing. And he turns like, but Dad, you never make a deal like this. They were like, this is like the setup for like a fucking con. Nope. It's just.
That's just, he's just a movie villain businessman, but not really, because he's only in it for 5 minutes. I don't know, this just seemed like Christoph Waltz had nothing to do for an afternoon, and so, sure, why not? I'll be in this silly movie. Why the hell not? Even the outtake of him at the end, he kind of opened the wrong door. The door was locked or something like that, and he just kind of stood there like, like, he doesn't give a shit that he's in this movie.
Nope.
Like, at least, you know, as much as I didn't like the Green Hornet, he was the best part of that movie, and any time he was on screen in that movie, it suddenly was a completely different and better movie. This, no, he's like, it is like a glorified cameo at best.
Yeah. Shit, honestly, he probably has as much time as, like, Kevin Spacey, which, again, just a glorified cameo.
Yeah. Jennifer Aniston is, I would bet, is in the movie way more than he is.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely she is. Because she comes up several times in the film.
And that's something that I wouldn't even be thinking about if it were somebody who's not of the stature that Christoph Waltz is playing that part. If it was, I don't know, I mean, if it was like guy that you would usually see play a businessman on TV or in movies playing this part, and not like a name, or not like somebody who you expect wild shit out of, like Christoph Waltz, then I wouldn't even, this thought wouldn't even really be coming across my head.
Yeah,
but with that, it just seems like a waste.
It definitely seemed like the sort of thing where, like, yeah, like, I kept waiting for some, like, quiet rage type moment, you know, to, like, sneak through. Like, no.
No, he just shot, dead, out of the movie, gone.
Like, well, okay.
That's when it starts turning into the exact same ending as the first one, when they're about to get arrested. And, oh, thank God, you saved me. Oh, officer, please help me. These guys tried kidnapping me. They killed my dad. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then at the last minute, something saves them. In the first one, it was a recording. In this one, kind of, sort of.
Well, even at that, like, they even, like, threw back to that, like, ha, I got you on recorder. Oh, and then he took it.
Yeah, a mistake that didn't seem like he would have made in the first movie, or maybe, I don't know, but this one was just full of a lot of silly mistakes like that, whereas the first one, something like that would happen every now and then maybe, but again, it's like taking little quirks that they had in the first movie and then just making that the entirety of their characters. But I laughed enough to where I could easily say, like, I would say this is easily at least a rental.
Yeah.
I would at least say that. Honestly, I like Penguins of Madagascar better than this movie.
But no, like, yeah, it's definitely like, I'd say definitely a rental. I mean, if you liked the first one, I mean, you'll like this one.
You won't like it as much.
Oh yeah, you won't like it as much, but I mean, it's not gonna piss you off. It's not gonna be like one of those fucking moments where, like, because again, like, I legitimately liked the first Hangover movie until the fucking sequels kept coming out, and it's like, my God, write a new fucking script. It's like, oh, now we're here. Oh, now we're like, fuck off. Just write another goddamn movie or don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I liked the first one. The second one, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if it keeps, like, you know, some good jokes going, like, it could pull this through. And then, no, same fucking movie. Like, yeah, like, this one here, like, I don't feel it, yeah, it definitely wasn't to that degree, but, I mean, yeah, it's not, like, on the same level.
No, it's not.
Because, like, even, like, characters like fucking Jamie Foxx, like...
Oh, he was good.
Oh, he's good.
He's Motherfucker Jones.
But it felt like he was in this movie because he was in the first one.
It felt like he at least, like, was a little more intricate to some of the things that were going on in this than, say, Jennifer Aniston's character, or honestly even Kevin Spacey's character. Like, especially towards the end, like, they really kind of wrote him into the action a little better than some of the other characters. but it also felt like if this was a pre-existing script, bam, let's make that character Motherfucker Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case, but the movie it hasn't been getting great reviews. I think it's at like a 30 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's better than that, because I did laugh a fair amount in this movie. I think it's better than that. I think it is definitely at least worth a rental. Or if I don't know, like if you see it in the cheap seats or something like that, or like a really early matinee that'll cost you only about $5 maybe. Like hell, rent it along with like Let's Be Cops. Like I was telling him earlier, I was like, I watched Let's Be Cops the other night, and I was like, I don't know if it was just low expectations because of what Dave and Sarah said about it, but I liked it a bit better than they did. But again, maybe it's because I rented it and they saw it in the theater.
And yeah, because something's like, just when you're in the big room like that, like it's like, this is very underwhelming. Whereas if you saw it on TV, it's like, that's entertainment.
Yeah, maybe that was it. I was watching it at home, and I like Jake Johnson a lot, and so it's Jake Johnson, like, not realizing that and Damon Wayans Jr., who's also good in the movie, not realizing that they've stumbled into a thriller for about half of the movie with this terrifying fucking villain that James Darcy is playing, who might as well fucking be Matthew Fox from Alex Cross. There's a part where he's cage matching some motherfucking guy in the movie and all but breaks the fucking guy's neck. And so you have Jake Johnson walking up to this guy like he thinks he's just some street hooligan. So he's going up to him going like, I'm the new sheriff in town, motherfucker. Ah, step off, bitch. I'm a cop, see?
Oh, it's a terrible idea.
I laughed a little bit more than Dave and Sarah did at that movie.
It could be like one of those, like, yeah, like you see it in the theater, like you're just like, this is all you can see and do, like you know, like I've had movies before where, like, yeah, like the theater experience not so great. Watched it a couple months later on video, fucking loved it, but it was probably because of the fact you're like rewatching it, like, okay, I'm watching that, but I'm also like looking shit up on like the laptop or like texting somebody,
yeah,
like,
right,
doing a couple other things.
I ordered a pizza when I was watching it, you know.
It's like where you're just not like absolutely transfixed on it, because yeah, like some movies just lose a lot. When it's just like nothing else to do, like in between like the shit jokes, like you just have to sit there and wait for them to make another shit joke.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie did have less shit jokes than, say, like a Hangover movie or something like that. Or at least it was far few in between. I don't even know what comes out next week. Do you know what comes out next week? I know at some point The Hobbit comes out.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure. I'd checked, but my phone died earlier.
Mine's
turned the other
one.
one.
Well,
I know there's some good stuff coming up in December.
But we gotta wait until April for Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, which I got the trailer for in front of fucking one of the 7 trailers that I got in front of fucking the kids movie earlier. They show Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, which was 90 seconds of he's falling and it's funny because he's fat. Man, that trailer pissed me off. That and the trailer for Home. Oh my god.
Not looking forward to the Jim Parsons movie?
No, especially because they were showing like a short film of that quite a bit this year in front of the kids' movies, where, I don't know if you ever got this, but it was like an animated short that they put in front of the kids' movies, and it was called Almost Home. Like, for a while, we thought it was just like a short that they put in front of the kids' movies, but no, it was like a teaser short for this movie, and it was called Almost Home. And if you were to watch that, you would have thought that this movie, that Home, would be about Steve Martin is the leader of a race of aliens whose planet gets destroyed, so they're going to a bunch of different planets to find a new home for themselves. That's what you would think that this movie's about. When you see the fucking trailer, it's Lilo and Stitch, but with fucking Jim Parsons as an alien. not a Jim Parsons fan.
No.
I'm about as much of a
You don't watch The Bang?
No, I do not watch The Bang.
But you'll miss The Bang.
We were on an airplane once where the flight attendant said that to Brian. And by flight attendant, I mean, like, what was...
Gay caricature of a flight attendant.
It was about a 45-year-old dude. He's like, he saw that Brian was wearing, like, a Flash shirt and was like, oh, man, you're missing The Bang.
Like, the fucker... Oh, god damn it.
And I'm next to Brian, like...
Like, yeah, man, I had to set the TiVo for it. I'm like, I guess tonight's when it airs in, like, this time slot? I don't know. I don't fucking watch that show. I think it's intolerable.
That was when we were flying out to Arizona, and we told Noah that when we landed, and just for, like, the next hour, he's just confused, like,
The Bang.
The Bang. The Bang. Did you watch The Bang? I was like...
Is that even how people refer to it? Like,
the only time I've ever heard that.
Like, if you're getting together with other people you know who watch that show, it's like, oh man, did you see The Bang last night?
Oh my god, I know some people who watch that show. I fucking don't. I can't stand that goddamn fucking show. I know a couple of people who fucking watch it. Jared used to fucking watch it when he lived above from me. He'd come downstairs sometimes and be like, oh man, God, it just wasn't a very good episode tonight. Like, no fucking shit!
I've got, like, a little bit of, like, a hell at work from people, because they'll turn to me like, oh my god. Like, what? Like, well, like, last night, like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, well, you watch Big Bang Theory, right? I'm like, no.
I like how they're really under the assumption you do. Like, wait, you don't watch The Big Bang Theory?
I know. I have comic book knickknacks on my desk, and I wear, like, a hoodie under a jacket, but surprisingly, no, I don't watch that fucking show. Sorry. I wear this because I'm too lazy to buy a heavier coat. It's called layers. I have comic book shit because I like comic books, not because I like the fucking Big Bang Theory. Show has ruined anyone ever wearing a shirt that has, like, the Flash logo or, like, a Green Lantern
it has
thing.
Ruined Bazinga shirts for people.
all those old ones you had from your childhood, you'll never get to wear again.
Burning them. Fucking burning them. I see people at cons walking around with Bazinga. Like, man, there's only one shirt that I think annoys me more than Bazinga, and that's only just because I don't like Big Bang Theory, but the shirts that are like the Keep Calm and Keep Calm and Doctor Who reference. Keep Calm and Daryl from Walking Dead. Oh god. Oh my god. I hate those I hate the fucking Keep Calm shirts. That is a fucking... I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get why it's so fucking popular. Oh.
I don't want one that says that.
Keep Calm and Daryl from Walking Dead.
Just that. No fucking explanation. It's like, what about him? I don't know, just him as a person.
Keep Calm and Spider-Man sitting behind a desk. Keep Calm and Ermagerd Burks. Oh, fuck off with those shirts.
I want one of each of these.
Yeah, get on that. Make those.
Make the ones that make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like how it's not like follow Daryl or something like that. It's just Keep Calm and Daryl.
Keep Calm and it has to be Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Specify. Leave nothing to chance. Oh my god, I want one of these shirts.
Keep Calm and oh my god, can you believe the finale of Hannibal? Like, oh! Fucking annoying ass topical shirts. On that note, I still don't know what comes out next week. On that note, we'll be back next week with
a movie,
something,
possibly two. Who knows?
Later.